Hello friends, today we are here to discuss about the book titled Corporate Organizational Behavior, authored by Dr. Professor Dhananjay Awasarikar. For this discussion, we have with us Professor Dr. Anand Gaikwad. Besides corporate experience, he has academic experience of more than 27 years. Now over to you, sir.
Hello. Today we have with us Professor Dr. Dhananjay Awasarikar, Director, Aram Institute of Management. Total 5 students have completed PhD under his guidance. Recently, he has written one book, Corporate Organizational Behavior, which was unveiled by Prof. Dr. Parag Kalkar sir. Let us discuss more about this book, Corporate Organizational Behavior, with the author who is present over here. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, can you just throw some light about what was the motivating factor behind writing this book?
While working in the corporate field for 10 years and thereafter in the academic field for 30 years, I realized that jobs just in the first year are lost not because of merit but because of poor organizational behavior. That was the strongest binding force for me to write this book.
Can you just elaborate on for whom the book is useful?
Basically, the book is useful for the youngsters who will join the corporate. They will get behavioral guidelines from the book. Besides, those executives who are already working in the corporate will also learn from the practical illustrations given in the book. Besides, those executives who have already retired can correlate their experiences narrated in the book. So, this book would be useful for three categories of people: the youngsters, working executives, as well as retired corporate executives.
Can we just discuss and can you just elaborate on what kind of efforts you have taken to make or to write this particular book in a very simple language?
In fact, I had read the literature of many authors. It was experienced that authors do not take care of their readers.
Okay.
For example, just last week I was reading one article of an eminent author in Indian Express. I had to refer to the dictionary almost 18 times
Oh,
to understand the meaning of
meaning of
the
the words.
unfamiliar words or slightly difficult words. So every time I have taken care that the words used are very simple, and even a lemon who has never worked in corporate will understand the meaning of the message given in that content.
So you try to make that particular book or write that particular book in a simple language, which can be understood by common people.
Yeah.
That's great. Sir, how you came out with the different sections in your book? Can you just elaborate on that?
While I was writing the book, there was no intention to create sections as such. But when the entire book was written, it was thought that alike contents should be clubbed. And as a result, these different sections emerged.
Okay. And while writing this book, what kind of efforts you have taken or care you have taken while narrating the practical examples which you have illustrated in your book?
While giving practical illustrations, I have taken care that no one would get hurt. Secondly, whatever changes were necessary, those changes were incorporated. And these examples have been tried to be made as simple and as clear as possible, whereby even a third person can understand them very easily.
Yes, while reading your book, I could feel that. Sir, moving forward, can we just have discussion about, do you think that this particular book which you have written is exhaustive?
No, not at all. It is suggestive
Suggest.
in the sense that even another author can write on the same contents in a different style. Moreover, if I will get an opportunity to write the second edition, to introduce the second edition of the same book, I would be happy to incorporate many more chapters as well as some more sections in the book.
Happy to see that you are going to publish the another edition of the same book. So all the best for this particular endeavor.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. While reading this book, I have observed that there are total 7 chapters. Can you just elaborate on these chapters as to how this particular topic you have segregated and how you came up with this kind of document?
For example, the first chapter is about the corporate patterns. Now, corporate patterns cover basically the difference between corporate world and academic world, difference between real world and real world, and all other aspects associated with the corporate. The second chapter is about behavioral patterns. They focus on the reflection of behavioral maturity or diplomatic behavior against misbehavior or absurd behavior of superiors. Several other behavioral strategies, those are prevalent in the organizations. Third chapter is about organizational patterns that speaks about different nature of organizational members, interdepartmental coordination within the organization. The next pattern is about management that covers the interesting topics in which employees are interested. Why management delays salaries?
I see.
Why management discriminates salaries? And several other interesting topics. Next chapter is about employee patterns, which is the bigger section, bigger chapter in the book, and that covers all other aspects associated with the employee behavior. Basically, all the employees must first focus on these aspects. They will definitely get different directions and different guidelines for working after reading this section. Say importance of employee confidence in organization, maintenance of employee confidence, employee motivation, especially for unwanted official work, employee ignorance is no excuse, can employee failure amounts to success sometimes, etc., etc. Next patterns are about colleague patterns, how to deal with immature colleagues, how to deal with illogical colleagues, how to deal with malicious colleagues. We come across all these kinds of colleagues. We just cannot avoid them. And the last patterns cover the general patterns, those are not covered in the earlier patterns. For example, how many ideals one corporate should have, or what are the consequences of career breaks on the corporate life of an employee, which information is to be shared with the colleagues, which
Okay.
information is to be shared with the superiors, with the subordinates, etc., etc. So, all these different chapters are highly exhaustive. Many more chapters could have been added, but that could have added to the length of the book. I did not want to do that because if the number of pages increase, readers get bored. That's why I have restricted the contents to 7 chapters.
Sir, I would like to ask you one very simple question. How this book will be useful to the budding managers in the company?
Budding managers will get direction as to how to manage the show.
Okay.
In the book, different approaches to management have been explained. Theory is not explained in the book. Everywhere there is focus on practice.
Practical aspect.
Today, the role of manager has turned more difficult as compared to past because many digital tools are readily available for them. So manual importance is getting reduced over a period. Over and above, they will have to develop their skills, they will have to execute their skills, and definitely they will get the guidelines as to how to integrate traditional management theories, management principles, management practices with the advanced and current knowledge of management.
At the same time, is this book going to help the person who is entering in the corporate world?
Yeah, they will get the new exposure to start their managing style.
Okay.
Those who are already practicing will get a different direction, but those who are the beginners, they will definitely get a good path to proceed with.
Okay. Uh, you know, in a corporate world, there are some events where management will have to take action against an employee. So during that departmental inquiry or domestic inquiry, how an employee should behave and what kind of care management should take. Is there any guideline given in this particular book?
How management should initiate an action against an employee, that is mentioned through illustrations, as well how an employee should handle challenging situations,
Okay.
how he should overcome these difficulties or obstacles, how he has to defend in such situations. That has also been included in different sections. Now, some funny examples are also given. There was one context about missing of a bill, and the employee had also lost the deal because the lady concerned was quite beautiful. And out of emotions, he said, I have lost my deal. And there was an inquiry. And in the inquiry, he told that I asked about the bill, not about deal. I don't know what that lady listened. So, such funny examples are also mentioned in the book.
Okay.
And how one has to escape through such disciplinary actions, or what legal measures are to be undertaken, how to avoid that, what strategic behavior should be there on such occasions, crucial occasions, challenging situations. Everything is well explained.
Great.
At present, there is a course, organizational behavior, for MBA. The chapter of corporate organizational behavior can be added in that course, whereby the students will get introduced to the corporate world while studying.
One last question. Are you going to translate this book in Hindi or Marathi language?
Yeah, of course, provided I would get a good translator.
Okay.
Firstly, in Marathi, that is my mother tongue, because I want to benefit people of my community. And then, of course, in Hindi, whereby many people, many students will benefit from it.
After having this detailed discussion about this book, there is a question in my mind. If any student, any person who is working in a corporate world would like to get or purchase this particular book, how he or she can purchase that book? Can you just tell us about it?
He can call me on the numbers displayed on the screen. So, book would be available thereafter.
Oh, lovely. So I think that in coming days, both the version, Hindi and Marathi, would be available for general public. Sir, thank you very much for the discussion on your book. Thank you.
Thank you.